Birds of Celtic magic ride, soaring over Erin, bathed in morning light through the ancient stones, and the hawthorn's soft bloom, chasing shadows, dispelling the gloom. The old woman by the hearth, her eyes like the sea, she tells of the raven and what it can be. A message from far lands, or a soul taking flight across the deep valleys and into the night. Oh, little wings of wonder, birds of Celtic magic ride, soaring over Erin, bathed in morning light through the ancient stones, and the hawthorn's soft bloom, chasing shadows, dispelling the gloom.
Hey everyone, and welcome. So this St. Patrick's Day, we're doing something a little different. We're going to swap the parades for the primroses and focus on a different kind of green party, the one that's happening right outside your window. We're going to explore how the arrival of spring birds in Ireland offers this really ancient and, I think, more meaningful way to celebrate. So let's just start with this question. What if the real celebration, the true spirit of March 17th, isn't just about what's happening down in the streets? What if it's about the incredible natural events unfolding in the skies, in the trees, and in the hedgerows all across the country?
You see, St. Patrick's Day lands at the perfect time. It's right in the middle of this remarkable transition, a moment when all of Ireland is literally shaking off the quiet of winter and just bursting with new life. It's an amazing opportunity to connect with nature's own renewal.
And the drama of this change is just incredible when you look at it side by side. On one hand, you've got the last of winter's visitors, like those magnificent whooper swans, getting ready to head back to Iceland. But at the exact same time, you're hearing the very first notes of spring. The first chiffchaffs arrive, the ground starts exploding with color even while the trees are bare. And the sound, the intensity of birdsong just starts to ramp up. It's a total changing of the guard.
And this isn't some new idea we just came up with. By watching the birds, you're tapping into a tradition that goes back thousands of years. For the ancient Celts, birds were everything. They were messengers, omens, timekeepers. Their arrivals literally dictated when to plant crops, and they inspired some of the most enduring myths. It's a living heritage, and it's still right there for us to see.
Okay, so let's meet the stars of our show, the early migrants who make these unbelievable journeys just to arrive in Ireland in time for St. Patrick's Day.
First up, we've got the Chiffchaff. This little bird is a true harbinger of spring. It's almost always the very first summer warbler to arrive, completing an epic journey all the way from Africa or Southern Europe just to breed in Ireland's milder climate. Just think about that for a second.
So, how do you even know you found one?
Well, honestly, it's a pretty small, unassuming greenish-brown bird.
But its song is unmistakable. It literally sings its own name, Chiffchaff, Chiffchaff. Hearing that simple two-note song for the first time in March, for me, that's one of the most definitive sounds of spring in an Irish woodland.
All right, our next visitor is a bit more flashy. The Wheatear is this really handsome bird that also winters way down in Africa. Now the males, they arrive first, usually around mid-March. And their job is to scout out and claim the absolute best territories along the coast and in rocky areas. And here's what to look for. The most obvious thing, the real giveaway, is that bright white patch on its rump that just flashes at you as it flies by. If you're lucky enough to see a male, you can't miss that striking blue-gray back and the bold black mask through its eye. Keep an eye out for them perched on stone walls or rocks, especially along the coast. Of course, it's not just about who's arriving, it's also about what you can hear. As the days get longer in March, the dawn chorus, which is basically nature's daily concert, it really starts to build in intensity. It creates this powerful soundtrack for the whole season. And there's this beautiful, predictable order to the whole performance. It actually starts in total darkness with the kind of melancholy warble of a robin. Then the blackbird joins in with its rich, fluty melody,
They're followed by the song thrush, and then my favorite part, the tiny but mighty wren adds its incredibly loud voice to the mix. It's a symphony that literally builds with the light.
Okay, so maybe you're feeling inspired. How can you actually get involved and make this part of your own St. Patrick's Day celebration? Let's look at a few really simple, accessible ideas. All right, here's a wonderful activity, and it's especially great for families. Why not create a bird feeder in the shape of Ireland's most famous emblem? It's a fantastic way to connect a national symbol directly with supporting your local bird life. And it honestly could not be simpler. You just need some cardboard, a spread like peanut butter or suet to act as the glue, and then a really good coating of birdseed. Hang it up and boom, you've created a St. Patrick's Day feast for the birds in your garden. It's such a great way to get immediate, rewarding results.
Another amazing way to connect is through language. Learning the Gaelic names for the birds you see adds this whole other layer of cultural depth to the experience. For instance, a robin is a spidioch, and that tiny wren is a draoline. These names have been used for centuries. And look, there are so many other ways to get involved. You could join a local bird walk, start a new family tradition with a garden bird count, or even just keep a simple journal to note when you first hear that Chiffchaff sing. Every single one of these deepens the connection.
And all of this leads to a really crucial point. Appreciating this natural heritage also means we have to protect it. Participating in this tradition connects us to the past, sure, but it also gives us a real responsibility for the future of Ireland's birds.
A key player in this whole effort is Birdwatch Ireland. They are the leading conservation charity in the country, and they work tirelessly on research, managing reserves, and advocating for policies that protect wild birds and the places they call home.
So, what can you do? Remember that even small actions can have a huge impact. You can become a member, you can participate in citizen science projects right from your own garden, you can plant native species, or you can simply avoid pesticides. These are all real concrete ways to help.
And that really brings us full circle. Whether you're out counting birds in your garden or just pausing for a moment to listen to that dawn chorus, just remember, you're not just observing nature. You are actively taking part in an ancient Irish tradition, connecting with the exact same seasonal rhythms that your ancestors watched thousands of years ago.
So let's end with this beautiful thought. A St. Patrick's Day blessing not just for the people, but for all of Ireland's birds, and for every single person who takes the time to watch them, to appreciate them, and to protect them. Thanks for joining me.
Make a lively tradition there is St. Patrick's Day full so solid. With a big and lively tradition there is St. Patrick's Day full song.